7:32. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 7:32. What?
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So we'll have a pledge of allegiance, and then we'll just dive right into this, and I'll try to make it as painless and quick as possible. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Now. Okay, what I gave everybody is a basic business plan for like a for-profit business usually. I got this from one of those how to run your own business websites. And since that's not exactly what we're doing, but there's not a lot of templates out there for a library business plan, I figured this was a good place to start. We don't have to sell the public on our services, but we do have to let them know what we have to offer, so that would be where our marketing would come from, where our marketing energy would go. Now, libraries have been around for thousands of years, and their purpose has morphed, and this community doesn't have a community center, and it doesn't have after-school programs for the kids, all the kids, I should say. There are some for some kids, but there's, the library has filled those gaps, but it's not our official position that that's what we do, but it has become what we do. We have a lot of children's programs, we have adult programs, we now run a theater program, do you follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of need to write that all down, that as the Goshen Public Library, this is what we do. It may not be what Warwick does, it may not be what Walden does or anybody else, but for Goshen, the library serves this purpose. And so this, my goal here and what I think we need to have, 1 or 2 pages that outlines why we exist in this town, what we do for this town, and, that kind of
Entre
thing.
nous.
Good evening.
Did you
They've just
Can you
seen
connect to wireless here?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? GPLHS Wi-Fi is the
Thank you, sir.
You get it?
Got it.
GPLS
Right.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it came up, just,
Found it?
yeah, it's very weak though,
This
it's only
is
got one
from
bar,
the
so maybe just back here.
Oh, yeah, no, it's.
Did I give you one of these?
Yes.
So, if you look over, this is what our basic business concept is. We are a library, and we start out, our primary function is a storehouse of information, and but we're also a meeting place for people. We're also an educational backup for the school. It's a research arm for the school. The kids all come here to do their research projects. The grammar school did their Flat Stanley thing that they do every year, and when they do that, our children's book section accommodates them by bringing up all the Flat Stanley books and getting, and we work in tandem with the school and things like that, and that's just the first thing that came off the top of my head, but.
Tutoring? Homeschooling?
Yeah, we do tutoring, we do homeschooling, every so often we run babysitting classes, we have a knitting club that comes here. Very nice. We have a knitting club that meets every Wednesday, we did, I don't know, they don't meet during the summer. And now that the meeting room's shut, I don't know what they're doing, but, we keep doing those sorts of things, so, what's our business concept as a library?
Do you wanna move the mic into the center?
Does it reach?
I think this clip's coiled up there.
In the past, has that been a problem?
We've only been here once.
Tight.
Pardon me?
We've only been in this room once.
Oh, you think this room might be different than downstairs?
Yeah.
It's smaller.
Yeah.
Probably hear better.
So I'm assuming that you guys have given this 5 or 10 minutes thought since I brought the idea up a while ago, and
Well,
Yeah.
should we begin with our mission statement? That's
yes,
normally
the
what
mission
they...
statement would be the place to start, and we kind of flesh out from there what our business plan would be.
All right. This may or may not be helpful. These are mission statements from other...
Well, we already have a
so-
mission statement.
Is it appropriate to what we're doing now?
We have
Change
the
it?
book with our mission
I have it right
statement.
here.
Yeah, our library
Okay.
mission statement.
That's it right there.
Yeah, it's a one sentence. That's the other thing. This doesn't have to be a manifesto.
the one...
And I think it would be a mistake if it were a manifesto, because the longer and bigger the document it is, the more it boxes us
I'm
in.
not pushing for a manifesto.
I know, but you're looking at me, so
No,
you're
I'm
getting
not.
my
I
copy.
always look at you. You're right there. You're
I
right
know.
next to
There
me.
should be 7 there.
Oh, look,
There you
I'm
go.
looking at you
She's
guys
got
now.
one now.
No,
So
I was thinking,
share.
you know,
Right, are these your notes?
yeah, those are my notes, and that's
Yeah.
just, I put one together,
Or
and
where,
just thinking through the process.
where is the existing mission statement? I'd
The
like to-
existing mission statement is in here.
It's in the blue
May I?
book.
It's not in this, right? No.
No, it's in, where is it, in the policy section? I forget
Yeah.
where it is. I think it's like the first page, right? Mission statement. Yes, the Goshen Public Library and Historical Society provides free and open access to information, ideas, and resources to enrich our community. That is our mission statement.
Right, so it mentions the key
The Goshen-
terms there are
Free and open access to information, ideas, and
resources.
resources to enrich our community.
information, ideas, and resources.
We also have a value statement, which is a bullet list.
We try to, we strive to meet the needs of all of our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very hard, be it our senior citizen population, be it our young adults, our children, you know, but within that, we have some constraints because sometimes space is an issue,
Right,
so
right.
strive to.
We strive to
Always
is-
make it.
Yeah.
But we strive
Right,
to meet
we
the
strive
needs.
to as best we can,
meet
yeah.
the
Do
needs.
you
We don't,
wanna
ca-
see what
well,
we
we
have?
don't have to caveat our
Mhm.
mission statement.
This is our mission statement, and those
Strive
are
to.
the list of our values.
How'd you like mine?
It's lovely.
It is? Is it?
It's
Okay.
delicious.
I think it's a good a starting place that we take our mission statement and we piecemeal it, so to speak, with free and open access. Okay, how do we do that?
Right,
So as a business, we in our mission statement we're saying this is what we do. Now how do we do it?
right.
So I think we should take like enriching our community, meeting the needs, and striving to breaking those three things down. Just
Right.
and then from there bulleting
Mhm.
how we do that.
Sure, that's a great idea, and that actually, fleshing this out is our business concept, you know, as according to this here piece of paper.
Well, I was thinking about what Kenny does with his Shakespeare in the Park and other
Right.
thespian activities, and thinking
enriches
that,
our community.
yeah,
That's important.
thinking that it's also we provide resources and experiences to help our patrons further their knowledge, enrich their lives, and help them understand the world around us. Thinking more from his perspective and what he provides, which is an experience. It's not
Right.
ideas necessarily, unless you pick them out. But,
Right.
right, so.
Yeah, the idea that you provide information and ideas is, that doesn't really encompass
Access to.
what we do.
Right,
We go beyond that. We have access to these, but I think your point about providing certain kinds of experiences.
mm-hmm,
The
Well-
other thing is that that makes no reference to the historical society side of the
Resources.
operation. And on the sheet that I handed out, one of them, the last one, has apparently a mission similar to ours, because the second sentence says, in addition,
thank you.
library is a conservator of local and regional genealogy and history materials, and is
Mhm.
dedicated to providing the community with a sense of its past, as well as providing avenues for its development in the future. So if we're going to take a look, in other words, I guess what I'm thinking, we should review the mission statement. It may not be as complete as we want it to be, because we want the business plan is, the foundation of the business plan is the mission.
Right,
So if the mission isn't comprehensive in regard to what we think the library should be doing, then we need to revise the mission statement.
well, I think the mission statement is more of a general statement than a specific thing. The business plan is where you get into the specifics.
Right.
But we can add something about genealogy and history, but I think making this more than a sentence or two is a mistake.
Yeah, it should be like the introduction in your paragraph,
Is the first
and
sentence
then
or
now
two,
we
and
have our
that's it.
body of
No, I
substantiating
I
all
agree
those.
that it should be short.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be one sentence, two sentences tops, the mission statement. So what we have now is a really great start. If we're not satisfied with that, add something about genealogy and history, the experiences to, I think a lot of that actually falls under resources to enrich our community. And
The-
then we flesh that out in the business concept. We do that by having a historical
This tells
study.
us the who.
Right.
Now this will tell us the what, why, when, where, and
Well, I'm
how.
still
Right.
focusing on the who. Um,
But can I
the-
make one
the-
suggestion? I'm sorry. Before we start, could you indulge me? I wrote something today just to give a
Okay.
framework to this before we get into the nitty gritty. And actually, I feel bad doing this.
I got bad news for
No,
you. That's-
What is it?
No,
So that's too wordy for our
Yeah,
mission
yeah, right, exactly. I told you, no manifestos.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
wanna-
no, no. This is
The
the
library
the party
manifesto.
line, as it were.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just
Let's
gonna,
hear it.
just to, you know, so we can start from sort of, this is my philosophical background, then work toward the nitty gritty, sort of start from the idealized and in
Pare it
fact, I
down.
feel sort of bad, right, because I also have one from Michelle and one from Eleanor, but both of these are much more nitty gritty, much more. I tried to take the long view and kind of beat the dust off my brain cells and remember what I had gone to school for and such. I tried to make it mildly entertaining, so if
Okay.
ready? It's not
Yeah.
too long.
Wait,
Okay.
put
Brace
some
yourself.
mandolin music?
Well, you could hum along if you
Okay.
find it. I recall a phrase from a slightly embarrassing cover letter I had written, what now seems eons ago, for a clerical job in a public library. This was prior even to my having formally entered the information field. I was a bookseller working for a now extinct chain called Borders, some of you may remember. I had had enough of selling, but not enough of books, and also a little experience in libraries working in my university as a page while pursuing a degree in philosophy and playing in a band. You can probably see where this is going. Well, the degree was getting me nowhere fast, ditto for the guitar playing, might I add, but I still had a head full of grand and youthful ideas, one of which was the notion of self-made man. I happened to be consumed with Walt Whitman at the time, and I considered the Public Library Society's church. As in a church, the sinner is invited to sit among the saved, there in the presence of the Lord, so in the public library, academicians rubbed elbows with autodidacts equally, and there was no registrar or bursar to deal with, no overpriced textbooks to buy. Anyway, I digress. The line in my letter contained a sentiment that I am perhaps less apt to so brazenly trumpet in these somewhat jaundiced days, but one that I nonetheless still believe to be entirely true. I referred to the Greenberg Public Library, and by extension public libraries in general, as the true flower of democracy, or some such dramatic thing. Needless to say, I didn't get the job. A penchant for airy phraseology belies a soul unfit for the rigors of a workaday library clerk. And despite a slight cringe at the elevation at which I was presuming to get myself across, I still believe this to be the enduring heart of our mission, the center from which everything else proceeds. The public library is our great equalizer, never free, despite how often that word seems to be attached to the word library, but valiantly public, by and for the community which it serves. The cornerstone of a democratically oriented society, the library's true function is to always hold out the possibility of a more enlightened and informed citizenry. One might go so far as to say that the health of a community's public library is a barometer of its belief in this foundational principle, its central mission, the maintenance and promotion of a communally owned space where individuals are encouraged to gather and to pursue and share in the free exchange of ideas, the end aim being the provision to the public of a fair representation of the world of ideas so that informed and responsible decisions may be made by anyone availing themselves of their birthright of access to the road which leads from opinion to truth, or something like it. Now back to earth. Granted, this is an idealization, or better perhaps it is an abstraction. You are all now intimately familiar with the array of services we provide, and some of them may, at a glance, have a seemingly attenuated connection to this core mission. But like rays moving outward from a source of light, all of our endeavors should ultimately be traceable back to this center. Whether we are speaking of early literacy and its support, through reading programs, job search assistance, or even programming involving crafts or movies, I would argue that everything we do aims to connect people to people and people to information. For further annotation of the kinds of things we traditionally do, and that will not be disappearing despite the present paradigm shift in the media through which information is conducted, please see the delightful reports put together by Michelle and Eleanor. As for the future and how we can persist in our role as bastion of this core democratic principle, that is a good question, and it is something we will have to fight for lest we be overcome by the powers and principalities. Think big publishing, not counting Penguin, of course. I'm only half joking. Until some alternative, better, more efficient way is found where access to information is made free and equal, we have our part to play, both as guarantors of information access and educators in its evaluation. The format debate is just a disturbance upon the water's surface. The present radical changes in medium impinge not a bit upon the library's role in society. That remains, as ever, that same vaunted flower you read so much about above. The details need working out, and if a way is lighted upon that excludes the middlemen altogether, one that is able to provide this equitable access to quality resources, then perhaps one might convince me that it is finally time to hang it up, to dismantle the library, that our mission is being carried out more effectively and efficiently by someone other than us. Then go ahead, take the library down and put in a public pool. Goshen needs one. I'm still playing the guitar. I'm sure I'll find my way. So that was
Very nice.
my
Mark Twain.
ode to
Yes.
libraries and
That was lovely.
Ah.
my distillation of really what I do believe, despite the sort of jokes, is where the mission should issue from.
Right.
And I only brought that up because just to keep
Mhm.
bear in mind that I believe, and I think I'm in line with I said hey, it's the party line, but I think it's a good one, as any I've come across, with the ALA and NILA, RCLS, and we all are trying to pull the arc in the same direction, and that should be the star by which we steer by. I think. I don't think I'm too far off. So having said that, thrash away.
Where Goshen gathers to explore the past, present, and its future.
Very good. I like that.
That accompanies your.
Well, the other thing I was going to say is that the first one at the top of the page mentions access to resources and services, and I think maybe the word services. If you simply talk about people getting access to ideas, it doesn't necessarily wrap in
Covers
many of the things that we do are in the
Programming,
form of services and programming.
Okay.
outreach.
Yeah, so there's just a couple of I think sort of missing elements or elements that need to be not broken down. That's for later in the document, but in the initial statement, I think we do need the word services. And I think we need a reference to historical.
Read that up. Our mission again.
Yeah, this one here,
Sorry, yeah.
the one that we currently have says the Goshen Public Library and Society provides free and open access to information, ideas, and resources to enrich our community. So it's access to access to these things.
Well, this first sentence in the first one you have here, it is the mission of the Bloomfield Public Library to provide and promote open and equal access to the resources and services of the library in order to meet the informational, educational, and cultural needs of the community. I like that.
I do too.
I like that sentence. That one sentence, I think, that really does nail it, though,
Right.
and it nails it without getting too wordy. And I think your informational, cultural falls. The historical society
It
slides
actually
right in
brings
there.
that in. You're right.
Yeah. And the adult programs we have slide right in there, and services would be the children's program. I think
Yeah.
that sentence is really good. We take
Yeah.
Bloomfield out, and
Right.
stick Goshen in there.
Yeah. The second sentence talks about lifelong learning and
Yeah, but I think it's
Yeah.
extraneous. The first sentence just says it all.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
but I
Simpler
agree
is
with-
better.
I agree with Jim that second sentence speaks more to the future, and I think it more to our future. The library seeks to encourage reading and the use of current technology,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's important for lifelong learning. And first off, encourage reading, which we do, and we should, and with the use of current technology, and which we're going to have to go with the technology that comes along. We're admitting it for lifelong learning and the enhancement of. I mean, it's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
do.
Well,
I mean,
I
I
like.
can tell you, and for you people here on the board who know that when I ran for the board, you know that I decided I was representing the taxpayers. I still feel I'm representing the taxpayers, but now I feel I represent people who use the library. And I also feel that when I went to the group that was pushing my candidacy, and that group, when I went to them and told them about some of the things that we do, and one of the things I said is, I feel very strongly our job is to make life for our children better than ours.
Mm-hmm.
And their reaction was, where did you come up with that one? And at that point, which is why I don't look at
You and me both.
I don't even look at that, and I'm sorry I miss your lines, and the old dog is pretty much dead.
Okay, well, that's why I
Right,
didn't realize. I was
because I
sending it to
don't
the
do it.
email I
And
had from that email list.
I think it's
So that's why we haven't
so, they destroyed, they
Mhm.
absolutely destroyed it when they said, why do you have to make life better for your children?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I just,
That's
Okay.
been.
I
Yeah.
couldn't
No children.
respond.
Always want
I
to
mean,
have
you,
That's
That's supposed to be the goal.
everybody here
Life-
knows
It's
that.
supposed to be,
That's-
life is a
everybody here
pay it
knows I'm
forward
not at a loss for
operation.
words
Yeah.
too
Well, that just
often.
serves you the
And
mentality.
they struck
Right.
me
And
dumb,
that's- that was,
and I just
no
couldn't
mail.
respond to that. It,
Food for
it's-
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
how
hello.
could you not want to make a better world for your kids?
Right.
And the way we are right now, and we're looking at our world in the future, I don't think there's a single one of us who, on an individual basis, who is looking into the future, not being frightened of what it portends for our children.
Mhm.
I don't think there's a single one of us. And there's nods all the way around. And you know, we're frightened of the future. We really are frightened of the future because of what's happening in the recent past. We're not frightened of it, but
Right.
the future is frightening to some extent. And we're not fighting it by trying to make things better for our kids. We're going to sit there and take it. I don't think so.
No. I think you're
I
right.
mean, it's one of the reasons why we're here, because we won't take it. We're doing something.
I hear
for
Twisted
it, I
Sister
hope,
laughing
but-
now.
But I'm sorry, it's,
That's fine, Frank. No, I'm glad to see you're passionate about this. Yeah, this is a pay it forward operation. I think having children, being a person, is a pay it forward thing. You make things better for the next generation that comes along, and that's the same thing. The people who founded this library, you know, they did it thinking long term, and we're sitting here. I have no idea what this is going to look like in 100 years, but you know,
Same as it did back then, I think, from their mission statement. Oh my God,
But
some
that
things
tree will
haven't
still be there.
changed.
that tree will still be there.
I think they should be reading maths too.
Yeah, right. They will be. We'll have
Sorry,
this
please.
carved into some piece of granite in front of the library.
With like they
That's
do
right.
at,
That's it. That
baseball
flower of
place.
democracy, whatever it was. They're gonna carve that right over the door. I love it. But
With a,
yes,
with a carving
I
of
think
math.
that
No, I think the children
the
are
second
sure.
sentence here is a little awkward, and
I like the sentiment though in it.
I know I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. And Frank is right. And the current library, what is it? 93,000 items in our library are already digital. We already have 93,000 digital items. Right. Oh, over 93,000. So that's about half our collection, correct? And so that's absolutely something we should include because it is something we're doing. You can download books onto your Kindle from our library.
Well, some of the words that we used were enrich and strive. So if we said the library strives to enrich reading, so instead of encourage, because hopefully everybody's already encouraged to read, we're enriching by books on tape or iPads or that technology. So if we just change maybe a few of those words, we can bring that into the future too.
We could add, well, I see the encouraging I think is worthwhile for little children.
Yeah, getting them started.
Getting them started. The library is a huge stepping stone in that way, but in throwing in enriching in there is a good idea too because it does both. It makes it we
To
encourage children,
and-
encourage and enrich.
and enrich reading.
Yeah,
To
encourage and
explore,
enrich.
manipulate, and stretch your mind.
So instead of maybe
Manipulate's
seek
a
to strive,
really
we're always
loaded
striving.
word. I
Yeah.
think we should
Yes.
leave that
Just
one
If
out.
we say
Got
seeks
a lot
to
of negative
encourage
stuff.
and
Manipulate
enrich
your
reading.
mind to think
Well,
differently.
maybe not
Right.
seeks. What about
You will
strives,
love
Jim?
the
I like
library.
strives.
You will.
Okay. Well,
I like strives better. I like strives.
I think that would be
I
bad.
think we're wrong. Is that movie?
I know what
Oh,
you're talking about. This is the Twilight Zone
Yeah.
episode or something with the spiral.
Oh, Jimmy.
I mean, the library strives to encourage and enrich reading.
all right. So you want strives? It's a little stronger
I
than.
think strives is better than seeks, don't you? We're striving. We're not seeking anymore. Now we're
Okay,
striving.
Yeah, we know where we're going.
going on.
Okay.
We know where
Okay.
seeking is like we're trying to
Yeah,
figure out where we're
we're
going.
always
Okay.
Striving is where
The library
we're
a work
moving
in
to.
progress.
That's
I mean,
yeah.
the library
Right.
is ever changing.
Right.
Mhm.
We're not. We don't just offer the book anymore. We now offer it on DVD. We
Right.
get
But there's an
access to
audio
them
book. There's
and
digital
so we're
books.
always
There.
striving to meet.
Right.
you
To
know,
encourage and
to
enrich
encourage.
reading.
Seeking was pre-technology. Striving is
Looking
now
ahead,
technology.
forward
That's right.
thinking.
It's a little more active. I like it.
All right. So we changed the name of the library.
Yeah, 'cause
That's a good
that's the
thing.
crucial portion,
Although,
I
you know,
think.
Bloomfield
And then
might have a
the
kicking
first sentence
library,
stays
who
the same, and the
knows?
second
What is that called?
sentence.
Plagiarism.
No, this
That's
is
not copyright.
we're complimenting
And
these
we're
people.
changing some words.
We're
so
We're
flat-
not changing the
legally,
words. That's
it's all
right.
We're
good.
changing
It
the
was.
name.
We just put a comma in there and it's all good. It's not verbatim. So you know.
And the library strives to encourage and enrich reading. And I think that covers everything. And then
Should
we
get
can.
rid of clean copies of Carol.
Okay. Enrich reading,
What about in the continued use of current technology?
enrich reading,
And-
We're
and.
changing technology.
Or continued kind of implies
Oh wait,
ever
the library
changing,
seeks to
maybe.
encourage and enrich reading, and
The continued use of current
technology, and the
How about
continued
just,
use of current technology.
how about this, the use of technology?
The use of
Because current,
current's awkward.
we want, yeah, because it gets, you know, like,
Yeah, it
come
just
back
go- yeah,
next
it's
year, it
redundant
changes.
actually. Current
And the use
technology, yeah.
of-
Let's cross
Just-
out current.
just
And
the
usually
use-
as soon as you
The
The use
put
of
Use of
technology
technology.
for lifelong learning and the enhancement of the individual's quality of life. I almost hear angels singing.
I know you like the two sentence thing, but I really think that you should have a preamble with the mission statement from that exists right over that one, and I think they fit very, very
So,
nicely.
the Goshen Public Library and Historical Society provides free and open access to information, ideas, and resources to enrich our community.
But this one
It's the
says,
mission of our library to provide and promote open and equal access to the resources and services of the library in order to meet the informational, educational, and cultural needs of the community. The library seeks to encourage and enrich. Sorry. The library. You broke my stride.
Sorry.
The library strives to encourage and enrich reading and the use of technology for lifelong learning and the enhancement of the individual's quality of life.
Bravo.
Wordy.
That sound.
Bravo.
That's not too
well,
long.
the first sentence that
It
our
gets a
current
little redundant,
statement
right?
talks
It's
about
redundant.
free and open
And it does
access,
here
and right
too.
here
It
in our
says so,
sentence we
open and
say
equal access.
open and equal access.
Right.
So that
Right, so it is a
One of
little
them has to
redundant.
come out.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we could mush some of this sentence into
Alright.
this
The
sentence a
Goshen
little better.
provides free and open access.
We don't have
Provide
free
and
here.
promote
Open and equal. Free,
access, so
open,
that
and equal
covers that.
That's
access.
the same. It's there.
Yeah.
It is.
Ideas and resources, and then it says to the resources and services.
Well, why don't we stick ideas in here?
Alright,
To the
ideas,
and
resources, and service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ideas,
Ideas.
resources, and services.
Ideas, comma, resources.
Thank you.
Eats,
Ideas,
shoots,
commas.
and leaves. Eats, shoots, and leaves. Two different things.
I know.
Anyway, I love that book.
I know. I think
They're
that's hilarious.
crazy. They're like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, it's an English major in me. I can't, you know.
And it's too funny. Right?
It's awesome.
You know what I got Dennis for Christmas? The Chicago Manual of Style. He was the happiest man on the planet.
Do we want Carol to read what she's got?
So why don't we have Jim read it to Carol,
Okay.
so you can double check
Alright,
that you
what I
got what
have
we
is-
agreed on.
It is the mission of the Goshen Public Library and Historical Society. All right, here. Make that very
Sure you don't
very
want to
top.
historical.
No, this I have.
Informational
Sorry.
education.
I think he did right
You don't
here.
need to
No,
use-
'cause we
we're not
have
gonna
it-
use that.
We decided that
That's
And all-
gone.
the cultural needs of the community covered the historical society.
Yeah.
The educational, informational, and cultural needs of the community. That's a great blanket statement for the adult programming, the
Puppets.
the puppets, the
Everything we do.
children, right, the stuffed animals, the
Yeah.
historical society, Shakespeare in the Park, the big band on the
The
lawn.
music people.
Right, it all that those three words right there cover all of it.
cultural
We didn't
period.
need to put the historical in there.
Yeah, but just mean that our, part of our basis is the historical society.
Right, but the fact that it's in our title and then we have that blanket statement afterward.
Redundant.
This is a preamble, you know, we the people, that's what we the Goshen Library.
I like this as a preamble and it follows in as a.
Yeah, I do too, but I think he's right about there's a lot of it that overlaps, so we just kinda push it together,
Okay.
okay? Well, or he'll read it off later, and if you still have something you wanna add, just chime in.
She's got it.
Okay, read it off. Let's make sure we're all on the same page with this.
Why don't you read what you have?
Okay. It is the mission of the Goshen Public Library and Historical Society to provide and promote open and equal access to the ideas, resources, and services of the library in order to meet the informational, educational, and cultural needs of the community. The library strives to encourage and enrich
Oh, we're reading
reading
both?
and
Mhm.
the use of technology for lifelong learning and the enhancement of the individual's quality of life.
Wow.
I think that's good.
Bravo.
All right, us.
How about instead of saying the beginning, it is the mission, we're saying the mission?
Yeah,
Of
but
the Goshen
yeah,
Library.
the mission. Why don't you cross off? It is. I
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah.
The
The
mission
mission.
of the Goshen Public Library. Cross.
That's good.
Yeah, that's more. That's
Is
more.
to provide, so we
You
have
gotta
to
put
add
is
it
in.
is.
Yeah,
mission of
is
the
to
go-
provide.
Is. You
The
gotta put,
mission of the Goshen Public is to provide. Right.
yeah, you gotta put the word is
Well,
after
it
the
would
word
make sense. The
library.
mission of the Goshen Library to provide. Sorry again.
There we go. The English
I
majors
can't
cropping
stand
heads.
it.
English
Sorry.
Okay, did
And
you
an
get that?
English teacher.
professor, right,
English
yeah.
goes after
I know.
library.
You better know your Oxford comma, buddy. Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
We're
Our
good?
mission.
Okay, so we got our mission
Okay.
statement. Woohoo! Yay us. Now what?
Football, oh no.
I know, it's a Family Guy marathon and
Anybody
I'm
got the
15
store?
minutes.
Kickoff's at 8:30.
Family Guy?
Giants are
I
on
love
today.
Family Guy, are
Oh
you
my
kidding?
god, is that the one with the dog?
Oh
No,
my
the
god,
Giants
yes.
are on
Oh,
today.
never
It's
seen
so
it.
very, very wrong,
It
and
is.
it's so very, very
Smart.
hilarious.
It's amazing
It's
what they can
really,
do.
really clever. That's what gets me. Clever humor gets me every time. And really bad puns crack me
Oh,
up.
I just went to two chess over the summer.
So the next,
The next step
It was
is,
so
how do we
cheap.
implement that? What is our basic, we have to flesh that out now. That's our preamble.
And we got the steps that have existed.
So now, that does kind of cover our basic business concept too. But how do we,
Incorporate that.
yeah, how do we now, so as the Goshen Public Library and Historical Society, how do we provide and promote open and equal access? How do we,
And I use the values that we have. and
no
follow
reason
them.
we can't, I'm just,
Just follow
we're
it.
just
Right.
stepping on into the next, one coherent document is our goal here.
That's on here it's listed as mission and values. I
Yes.
don't know if we need a mission and value statement or a mission statement that includes our values.
yeah, do some of them have goals? Is mission separate from goals, or is it the
Yes, a
same
mission
thing?
statement is just like the overriding reason we exist.
And
That's
it-
our mission
are
statement.
the
Our
goals-
goals is a separate thing. And-
Yeah, our values and goals.
Yeah, the
I mean,
goals
this is
are,
what we stand for, but what do we actually do is our business part of it.
right, our
That's what we're
business
trying
plan
to
is how we
do our mission.
live up to our
Implement their
mission
values.
statement. How do we live up to our mission statement? That's what our business plan should explain. So, the library, this is what the library does, and the business plan is, this is how the library does it.
Well, so how long is this, how long do you want this to be, like a
A
page,
page is
paragraph?
plenty. I don't think it needs to be.
Do we bullet it like the values?
We could. That's
Or
the
is that
thing.
not-
It's could.
Hmm.
It's just
Could
you
we
know
start
a sentence or
by-
two for each thing. What's our basic concept? How do we provide these things? And we don't have to. I handed out this because it was an outline of a complete business plan, but it's not a not-for-profit library government entity business plan. But it gives you an idea of the type of things that are included. You know, we don't need an industry overview, but you know, and our marketing is mostly for letting the public know what we offer, not so much trying to get new customers. You know, that's not our,
We
but-
have a customer base.
right, we already have a customer base and we are an established business. We've been here for 100 years.
Competition,
We have no competition.
other than the internet.
There we go, the freaking internet. But the, right, but like our overall market, changes in the market. Well, I mean, Eleanor has made some changes to the way we display our books. And it's more like the way a bookstore displays their books. And that has increased circulation. Things like that, that's a market analysis thing. She analyzed the way people buy books, the way people use books, and then adjusted the library to fit the needs of our patrons. That's falls under our marketing. That falls under our, you know, like, and it's
So we don't wanna list it that way, like a marketing, but how do we list it that we've done that? So how do we
Can we
incorporate
start
Eleanor's
backwards?
marketing?
yeah. We could start however you want, and
Do
it's
a list of all of our services,
Mhm.
walk our way back.
and I think that's probably the smart way to do this is to what do we do,
Yes.
and then we have. And we don't have to finish this tonight. I mean, we can just call it a night at 8:30 and go home and watch a football game. I'm okay with that. I just wanted to get the ball rolling, and the fact that we came up with quite
Third, fifth, and sixth.
we came up with a wonderful mission statement. I think we should be proud of that. But we needed to get started on this. And yes, if you could actually give us copies of what
Sure.
Eleanor and Michelle wrote, that would help be very helpful. And
So do you think it's easier, to
Are they
go
fax them
digital?
to
piece
us.
by
Can you email
piece
them as
on
well?
here and then bullet it like
No,
what it
let's
says?
just
Yeah, I
start
can
by making
PDF
a
it
list of
tomorrow and
all
then
of
just
the
email it.
library services. We have the
PDF.
theatrical,
Yeah.
we have the
PDF.
I mean,
theatrical,
there's so much.
we have
Right.
our children's services
Mhm.
that does outreach to the libraries, correct?
right, yeah, and
Adult
there's even
theater.
subsets. You know, we have children's services,
Right.
and under children's services we have story hour. We have oh, I just completely went blank. We have just the thing she did where she ties in new books that come out with the Harry Potter
Right.
thing she did was phenomenal.
Children's
Right.
services would be like themes.
Right,
I mean,
and,
there's a good, then from there, I mean, you could list. There's like teddy bear. When you come in your pajamas, you have teddy bear, and then we
Right.
have mommy me tea, and I mean, this could go on and
those
on
things
forever.
people need to know.
Yes,
All
right,
of
but
these things.
this is
So
what we
that's-
do, and
Yeah.
we drive. Okay, and then you have all of this. How do you condense it now into a
Right.
paragraph? That's really what we
Um,
should be after. So that when we're done, someone says, "What do you do?" We're not plopping a telephone book in front of them. We hand them 2 pages.
All we
and
have
this
to do
explains
is
the
get our
library.
program sheet that has like listing the things, and then from there we could say, oh, she's doing the theater. That's right. Oh, the puppet or the mommy me tea and
Mm-hmm.
the nursery rhyme. So even if we had like that thing that's out there, that would give us even a great start of
Yeah.
what we do, because a lot of
Excellent.
that is
Right.
On our webpage.
Well, that's
you can
part of
PDF.
our-
a lot of
You can
you
look
know
at there too.
repetition.
Right. That's part of
throughout
our,
the year
Is
as
it
well.
on there now?
That falls under.
Computer? No?
Does the internet shut off at 8?
Yes,
That
the
does.
library shuts off.
Oh,
so that
God,
Oh, does
that's
it?
right. Yeah, he has
Oh.
it
Yeah.
exactly set up.
It shuts
I don't know.
off.
He's
but it's-
concerned
Why?
with people using it out there after. I don't know why.
What are
but
they
I,
gonna
I,
do?
Does it
I,
cost
I,
us
Wear out the
Yeah.
ether?
Same.
That's what I said.
Programs.
My husband's worried about that too.
If
I
that
said, somebody
helps.
wants to sit in front of my house and
No,
use the internet.
No, it would. I'm just
It's
thinking
just
that
that.
that's
It's not
a
going to
good-
cost me
let's-
more.
let's-
You know how these guys love to
What do we do?
tweak
to
everything
work our
to
way back
control.
to
Yeah, why aren't we
to
on
come
WordPress
up with
yet?
a
talk to
How
him
to put
first.
it together.
yes.
Yeah.
That would be-
Fine, man.
It's a little ridiculous.
So
We
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 How
know
don't.
where
long
we
it took?
where we
Yeah.
are,
He's, you know,
so that
Or
way
he's a
it gives
pokey
us where
little
we're,
puppy.
where we've been, where we are, and where we're
Precise.
going.
So jazz
That's
festival,
generous
adult
Of you
theater.
to put it that way.
What are we doing?
Big
terrified.
band.
Are we putting a list together?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's
I'm
keeping
starting
that
with-
list?
Well,
the
this is kind
adults.
of our.
Who's keeping the list?
I'm writing things down as
Me
people.
too. So under
This is
adult
under
Do we have
theater.
a
like
list keeper?
if you look here, products and services.
What did you say?
What you're talking about is fit there.
I have
You follow
theater, children's, the jazz festival,
Big
Right.
band.
Mm-hmm.
big band, the
Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah, have theater.
Okay.
All right, I've got the theater and the jazz and the big band all underneath adult programs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then under children programs, some of the others that we've already mentioned, the story hour.
Story time.
Then of course the whole the whole loan system of people taking
interlibrary
out
loan.
Mm-hmm.
books, DVDs, CDs, games.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Circulation, material circulation, right?
Yeah, and then there are materials, I guess, referenced that are just used in the library, things that are not taken out of the library.
Shrinking dramatically these days, but there's still
Right.
some reference tools that we wouldn't let out. It's
Reference,
too
there-
expensive.
Tools, and then also personnel.
Databases. Oh, are you
Right,
talking about?
reading
Okay.
club. Good.
Right.
Cooking,
Or
class,
See, now-
access to
knitting,
personnel.
movies.
In the
I mean, it goes on and on and on.
well, in the outline here, there's a section called products and services, which is where all of this would
Mm.
fit. But I think the vision statement would be what you were talking about last meeting, where we think we're headed, what we want to do, what our goal is as a library, and the summary of what it is. It would be a
Strategic
more
plan would
fleshed
come
out.
out of this.
Right, but the summary is a more fleshed out version of our mission statement. You know, the business concept, our that portion of the first section of this, or what we're good at, why we're doing it, our function.
Is
in
there
the-
any way to tie in the friends as well?
I was
Is
just
that
writing
not-
that. I put young adult, junior friends.
Well, I think that's also.
Game night.
I think that
club.
Well,
It's not actually part of the
technically,
library.
There's a separation.
Yeah, they
From
aren't
a
part of the
corporate point of
library.
view.
So maybe people don't know that we have a
We
we have a junior friends
We
here.
also have teen volunteers.
Yeah, that's
separate,
in
yeah.
that are under the library's purview. And
Youth
everything.
Yeah, the
adult,
teen
yeah.
volunteers are that
Yeah.
that would
teen
be.
advisory group. Is
Right.
that
Well,
what it's called?
there's an operations section which is about the kind of people we have working for us, and maybe we could put the friends in there. Is there something you'd like to add? Oh, I'm sorry.
Book clubs,
Yeah.
Tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
tutoring. That would go under young adult or not children. Tutoring.
We have
Down
a
here.
tutor.
Well, probably tutoring is
We
children,
don't
isn't
tutor.
it?
We provide
Is it?
We provide space
Space.
for
it's tricky.
tutoring.
It's tricky, but yeah, for the Go
There's
Shooting
no
Course
real
is-
community center, so we've
Oh, yeah.
become
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and
But-
that's kind of how.
Right.
If a tutor and a student are working on something and they need
Tutoring.
further materials,
This
who
is
do
the
they
place.
go to?
They go to the reference library.
Yeah.
Sure. What's
Yeah.
that?
No, I'm
Right.
trying to think of how to word tutoring. Tutoring outlet, tutoring. Because we don't actually tutor, but
we
we
don't
provide
tutor.
the
Support.
tutoring.
So
Tutoring
tutoring
support.
support. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
For the Goshen Central School District.
For the
tutors.
Goshen Central School District
For
tutors. Good.
Goshen
Not for the-
Central
So
School
good.
District tutors. Computers
Access
and
to-
classes.
Mm-hmm.
And computers would be for.
No,
not only
like,
children, but
What about
adults.
this place we're sitting in? I mean, what would that fall under?
Historical
History,
Society.
right.
I mean, that's a whole other thing about Anne being here and hours and availability and that sort of thing too.
Right. Well, I think the biggest
Local
portion of
history
this will
wing.
be this, products and services that we have, and that would include the Historical Society.
Historical.
I think our, marketing and sales would be about our newsletter, about our
Website.
Facebook page, our website. We Twitter, don't we?
Twitter.
We Twitter.
Your
We tweet.
outreach.
We tweet.
Sorry.
know,
Frank's
get it?
outreach to the senior citizens.
Soon to be unveiled.
Right. Our
Wow.
right. Our
Visit
memberships
to
to
Rotary.
the.
Hang
Right,
on,
he was
that
a
would be
membership
under
of the-
outreach, right?
Right. Well, that's under marketing and sales.
So
We would have
senior,
all of that sort of thing.
um,
You know, our competitive analysis would be when we go spy on other libraries and see what they'll do. When Frank comes in with the Warwick children,
Right.
this is marketing. This is competitive analysis.
You know, it stood out, that was, if I could interrupt for a second, I was at the school district main office and they had a table with a bunch of pamphlets.
Mhm.
And that just stood out on the table. Wow, you know, it just
Yeah, it's-
jumped out. And
Sure.
I grabbed a bunch of them and I said, what the heck
That was
is
quite
Warwick
Yeah, this
having a
Saturday
book
they had, like,
festival? And it
All
was
these
all, so
authors.
I didn't mind
This
taking
weekend.
a
An
lot
article
of
in the
them.
Chronicle, I
But
believe.
the
no?
color and
Or was it
everything
the
just
ending?
looked out.
Yeah.
I can say
They have a lot of money.
that this was the last
Wow.
one that was on the table,
Oh, that's a good one.
so
Bring them
somebody
up.
must
Okay.
have picked them all up. This includes
Oh
a
no.
notice that for
Yes.
the children's thing, that with children's programs, many of them are canceled, that you have to check with the library, and
Mm-hmm.
but they are all
Okay,
gone.
I'll
This
let
is
her
the
know.
last one that was there, and I took it because I figured if I didn't, then
Yeah.
the next person would take
And
it
not
and
tell
there'd be
us,
none.
right? Okay,
Right.
thank you. I'll let her know.
So you know that it's gone. We have to replace it
So-
and get enough of a pile at
Okay. That was at the
school district.
okay.
I had a number of, I talked with a number of people that including Miller and one of the assistant superintendents. Were you aware of the 911 meeting last Friday?
No.
If you wanna make a claim, if we wanna make a claim to FEMA,
Oh yes,
You
yes,
had
we
to
have that.
be
co-
there,
no,
but-
we called it. We have to go to one on October 4th or 7th. I have it on my calendar.
okay, but you have 30 days, and I have the
Okay.
forms that you need to
I think I
fill
have
out.
them also, but let me see. I probably have the same ones if they're from the.
And it's
we
not really
download.
difficult.
No, we
Not
called because
difficult.
the first date we were given was about 3 or 4 days ago, and they said that's yours. For some reason, they put libraries and firehouses on October 4th or 7th. I'll have to
Okay,
check.
you,
But yeah,
you
we.
got that in here.
Yeah, Michelle's been on top of that. Thank you.
Good. This is basically, the county want to make sure all the
Right.
municipalities are taken care of. This is the notice of the meeting.
Okay.
Here is the notice that the village asks us to complete, and it's really just, they wanna know what kind of damage you had for whatever reason. They're doing the survey.
Okay.
We can help them or not. I got a letter today in the mail from Discover. Says, Dear Francis M. Walter Jr., I'm really sorry to hear about the recent disaster that affected your community. Please know that Discover is here to help you through this difficult time. We can provide you with assistance locating ATMs, issuing a major emergency pins to access cash, and providing additional replacement cards for immediate help. We also have additional services for qualified accounts that might be helpful. Thanks for being a Discover card member. If there's anything we can do to save you better, please let us know. Acknowledgeable account managers are available to assist you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Call this number, and you can always visit discovery.com. So I called them, and I said, the hurricane didn't bother me. I lost my phone for 2 weeks, and that was pretty good. And in fact, it made up our mind that we were gonna get rid of Frontier anyhow. And but meanwhile, my library needs some help. And the guy said, "Hold on, I'll put you in touch with somebody who may be able to come up with a help." Unfortunately, I was on the phone on hold for about 5 minutes, and a guy who was coming in to fix some trouble that I had in the bathroom, we started ringing the doorbell. and I had to choose between hanging on the phone for Discovery
So
or
do
take
you
care
have
of the guy, so I gave up on him. I'm willing to go back and try him tomorrow.
So, you wanna call
And-
1-800-DISCOVER and see if they wanna help us out?
Sure.
They'll probably give us
Hey.
a low interest credit card.
And-
We'll take $1 million.
That's right, you wanna
But
give
I
us
mean,
something.
if you want, I'll
that's,
do it. I don't mind, I don't,
That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
mind doing that, but
Okay,
Thank you.
so,
I don't mind
back on,
begging.
thank you, Frank, back
I
on
got some people you
topic,
could
please.
talk to.
Sorry.
That's okay, it's, yes, go ahead, Norma.
So what this list that we're making of all the services that we're providing leads us to one big giant word, which is growth. And the library's growth over this amount of time. And that's one of the things that they talk about in the market analysis is the growth. And so
Right,
we can go to the public and say, look at all of the stuff
right.
that we offer.
Right, which is part of the reason we need the business plan in the first place. We have what we do, why we do it, where we see it going in the future based on where it's come from in the past, what other libraries are doing, what bookstores are doing. I mean, they're going out of business, but the products and services will take up probably most of what we have here. And when this is all said and done, this is our argument for
I mean,
where we go next. This is who we are, this is what we do, this is why we do it, and this is why we need to move into the 1887 building or build something on the 5 acres or find a way to add a third floor or something. But
Not a basement.
yeah, well, yeah, we can't go deeper. So
is the well dry downstairs? That hole?
That whole, Danny pumped it out and it stayed low, so I guess the water table's,
Is it a deep hole?
it's 15 inches.
It's gonna rain again this week.
It's not deep.
it's not terrible. It's not great.
Mm.
Anyway.
So the library keeps on growing.
Yes. Well, there's this, like, the reason I gave you this is if we can break it down into sections, you know, the summary of our existence, our vision statement would be where the growth would go and where we've come from, you know, the milestones we've reached is right on here. And, yes, you want to say something, Jim?
I think maybe the staff is in the best position to list all of these services because
Yeah, we
This
have,
is
I'll
a
Well,
pretty
yeah,
good
send these out
list,
to you
but-
this
tomorrow.
is what, I asked Eleanor and
Yeah.
Michelle
if they
to
could,
both give us, what is your, how did I phrase it? I don't even remember. Why do we need a library?
Right.
What do you think our function is? How do we perform our function? And that's what they did, right? What
Yeah,
our services
we could
were.
put this
So
in
they,
PDF and then
yes, that would
mail
be
it.
fantastic if you mail it to everybody on the
Okay.
board. That'd be great.
I was thinking I was going to read them tonight, but it would be about.
No, we'd be here.
So,
There's
I
a
didn't
football
realize
game
it's
in
a
10
full
minutes.
price.
Where are your
I understand,
priorities,
I'm sure I'm
Matt?
all upside down.
She's like Jones and
Go ahead, Matt. Read it.
just
Are you okay? I'm sorry.
Want some water? There's a couple over there.
Poor Norma. Anyway.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, she's all right.
but at some point, someone's going to have to come up with a bulleted list of certain, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 broad categories, and
Yes.
then under each one,
Right.
the subset.
Okay.
And I was thinking that if you know, you take this list that we started with and then have them complete it, because you know,
Sure.
when we talk about children's programs, we can think of 6 or 7 things. They
You're not
probably
gonna
can think
have-
of
of course,
the
right.
4 we
Sure.
missed.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Right.
sounds good.
Well, we have the libraries already broken down into
Good
separate.
service.
Service. Thank you.
But along your line, the library's already broken down along service lines as it is. So if we just have the people who are responsible for our computers
Right.
and the children's program and the adult program and the middle school
Mhm.
and
And
the
young adult,
results and
yeah.
the reference
Outreach.
librarian.
Just a
Yeah.
bulleted list.
Circulation.
Right, and we
Okay.
get
Right.
Ann involved, what's the historical society, and if we have each one of those people just give us an outline of
Okay.
what it is they do and what it is they provide, you know, explain to them we want a
Yeah.
bulleted
Yeah.
list,
I think
right?
it's better if they don't write a paragraph and just
No, like a
make a
list.
list.
Present,
A
not,
list.
we're not talking again about the
Bullets.
future,
Right.
we're talking
Right.
what we're doing right
What
now.
do
what
you
are-
do right now? You
Okay.
come in on Monday and this is what
Right.
you do and this
Alright.
is
That would-
your section of the library, how does it function and what does it do?
Sure. that.
And that would be products and services.
And then if we see something that doesn't fall under our broad mission, then we know,
Then we know
that's
we
not
either have
right.
to adjust our mission or get rid
And-
of that thing.
right.
I guess like,
But
And then
this
it
is
may
such an
be-
eloquent statement, though.
what would you do for
It
it?
is.
I guess it would have to be computers or technology.
We'll probably work on
I
it
guess
jointly.
that
Yeah,
needs
that
Another
kind
one,
of, see, the thing is, there's a lot of overlap with
Overlap,
things.
right.
Yeah.
There's overlap with
Right.
everything. You know, the Eleanor, I'm sure overlaps with Ken, which overlaps
Right.
with
Adult
Michelle,
program,
which
sure.
overlaps with you know,
David for the website.
David for the website,
Mm.
and then,
And then the
you know, Jen
newsletter.
takes care of the Facebook, but then Jen has to interact with all the,
Right,
you know.
as a department.
Right, so, you know, there is a lot of overlap, but yeah, there are people whose main focuses are different things. Yes?
Who's the master scribe? Is that
I
you,
think we're
Jim?
ahead
Are you
of,
keeping a document with all these?
You're getting ahead of us, but I believe that's, Carol's.
Carol's
Well,
got
what
it.
what I see here is 3 or 4 people taking notes and.
Right, but we haven't
But-
gotten anywhere beyond writing up our new mission statement, yes?
I have
Okay.
13 different items that I caught
Well, I have a
from
lot more.
different people. Would you like me to read them so that everyone will have an idea of what's been documented?
Well, I don't think we have to document much of anything at the moment,
That's
just,
down the
that's
line.
fine. I think really this is more of a brainstorming, get the ball rolling kind of meeting.
I tried to
Yeah,
add
that's
it
great.
Yeah.
That's great, and,
Take these out so you can have it back, right?
But if I would think if we could pass around after these meetings, whoever the master scribe is, put a document together, pass it around through email so we can review prior to the next meeting and
sure,
you know brainstorm on our own.
okay,
So it's just
so,
I throw out there.
This was more like of a
yeah, that's
That's
more
after.
like,
task. This is
That's
like a
after.
building.
This
This
is-
is like
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
this
like
is-
read it going, been there, done that. Did
Yeah,
that,
right,
didn't
yeah,
work. Well,
right,
community,
doesn't
that
work.
works
Mhm.
somewhere else.
well, that's the,
Well, it's true.
yeah,
I'm like, but we did half of this. I mean, so
right,
it's relative.
yes.
Consider the source. That's all.
We have, that's part of the reason to do this is because our community has to be, our library has to be for our community, not for anyone else. You know, I know. Yeah, Master Scribe, I think
Now,
that's
Did,
ahead
did
of
you
us.
get this? You had mentioned. Did you want to read it or look through it or?
Did you give me a copy of that?
Long time ago. I
Oh,
gave
Jim, you
the
lost a
old-
library book.
Oh,
That's
but
$32.95.
It's the earlier edition, so
Oh,
it's,
now it's an
Oh,
out of
then,
print.
That I'm safe.
you had right. You had,
There's some
No, it's
newer
$49.99.
It's an
That's
out
right,
of
now it
print
goes into
rare
the
copy.
historical
It's
collection.
how much
Now it went up.
That's
We
right.
just thanked the Historical Society.
Exactly.
that was a donation, I think. We had a bunch of them donated for the last push. People just bought them, other board members, I think, for their own copies, and gave them all to the office when they were done with them.
Okay.
Mm.
But then I bought 3 of these, the new ones. There are 3 of them, the light colored blue.
Are we this piece that we've been talking about? Are we making it part of our vision,
No,
or
it's
do we want
it's
to?
part of our business plan, and it's going under products and services. And I think
Okay.
what we're going to do actually is get feedback from the department heads, so we have a more accurate list of exactly what our products and services are. Isn't that what we agreed upon?
Yes.
Right?
In this handout, in the second page, there's something that always confuses me. In that bulleted section in the middle, the last one.
Do we have one here?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
this
I
is
don't
the
know
one.
who's looking at.
Didn't she pass? Oh no, this is. I'm sorry.
I didn't pass that out.
No, this
I
is.
passed this out.
This is something I brought. I thought this was part of yours.
No.
But anyway, the sentence. I'll read the sentence. The difference between this. Now, this refers to, I believe, the business plan and the strategic plan. Is the strategic plan
the links you sent.
Mhm.
focuses on
Oh, okay.
the vision,
It's ringing a
the
bell.
mission, goals, and objectives. The business plan focuses on how
How
to achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we now looking at how to achieve these things, or are we now looking at the goals and objectives? The goals and objectives theoretically would be your first step, and then the business plan follows. Well, this is how we're going to get there.
What we've been operating for 100 years with amorphous goals and objectives, and what we did today was come up with our mission statement, which is
So then-
our basic goals and objectives, and then how do we do that? And from there, then we
Okay.
decide
All right.
where are we taking the library next.
So
then we deal with
I'm
a strategic
comfortable
plan.
saying that our mission statement is, that's our goal and objective statement also.
Yes.
In some of these documents I've seen, they break, they go into much greater, which I think
Right.
unnecessary detail.
I do too. I think it's a
Okay.
bit much, and that's why I think our overall thing should only be
Okay.
a few pages at most.
Okay,
I think our products and services will probably take up the lion's share of what we end up with.
okay.
I'm thinking strategic plan as a subset of a business plan.
I do too. The
So-
business plan is kind of the constitution.
Yeah.
And the vision, thank you.
Strategic plan.
Thank you. The strategic plan is then, how do we build a highway? How do we, I don't even know, it's a subset
Well,
of.
but this says the opposite of that though.
I know, but,
So I don't,
This is-
I find
see-
the terminology very confusing.
yeah, well, you know what, most of these things were for pre-launch businesses, before the business actually opens its doors, before you go anywhere. That's what most of these business plans
Mhm.
that I found are, not yet existing businesses,
Mhm.
but we've been here for 100 years. We've been doing what we've been doing, and it's morphed and changed, and, you ask 10 people, what's the library do? You get 10 different answers, so we need one solid answer that the library says is what we do.
And-
And that's really kind of what just put it all down on paper so we have it in front of us. Yes, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is how we do it. And this is, all of the things we offer, and why we offer them, and who we offer them to, and how we offer them to those people, and, that because we've been doing it, we just don't have anything anywhere saying that this is what we do, and this is, yeah,
How
so.
did you know I was just doing it? I just got it
I'm a
done.
psych,
Just got it done. You're not gonna like the word, and you're probably gonna fix the wording, but
that's fine.
the library has experienced phenomenal growth in the century plus of its existence. As the community continues to demand additional services, the library will continue to respond to those demands from the community.
That's great. That's a good sentence to put in our summary, which is the basic opening shot. I love it. No, it's good. That's very
They
good.
started over
Those are
Yeah.
surprised.
one more time. I mean, you can read it. Can I do it out
Go right
loud? Do you
ahead.
mind?
Go ahead.
May I take a look?
But you can, see if you can
So,
read
do
that.
you want Matt to have all the department heads responsible for all of these sections?
Mhm. Give us a bulleted
everything.
list of what they
And then
And then
provide.
at the next meeting, should we compile that, make our body, so to speak, and then go to the how we achieve everything that's been given?
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. But let me tell you what I think is going to happen. So, yes, Matt is going to ask the heads of the different departments to give us a list of what their products and services are.
Century plus
And,
existence.
Of existence.
That's this section here. That's what we're going to. What I think we should each be working on is his sentence is a great
Part of the summary.
summary. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. It's been up
Executive
since
summary.
5:30. It's just going right out of my head.
The executive summary.
Yeah, the executive summary. We have our mission statement. Now we have like that basic, the topic sentence, and now we have the paragraph that fleshes it out. So now, you can see here what it is. Not everything here is apropos to a library, but we can make it.
Sure.
There's ways it does apply.
Yeah.
So
You know.
we're really defining
Respond to
where
the-
we've come. We're defining where we are and where we
Demands
come.
and needs.
Yeah, and who we are
in a
right
matter of
now, and who we
personal
are in Goshen,
Of the
and
personal enough to go forward from there.
yes, but how do we go forward when we don't have?
You like that?
If we don't
Yeah, we
know
gotta
where we're
define
at.
So if we don't know where we're at,
Just
right?
because it's changed over the
Right,
50
this is a
years,
big giant
considerably, yeah.
As the community
Thumbtack, you are here.
Yeah.
At some point, are we going to have
continue
some
to respond to the demands
1 year or 3 year or 5 year objectives in regard
To
to,
those demands.
so we can measurement
Absolutely.
of future?
But I think this is the foundation document, and from
Right.
there, this is who.
Right.
So this is how we know where we want to go in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years, and
And that statement just presented by Frank is
going to be a
Part of the
portion
summary.
of part of the summary.
Or the mission statement.
The executive,
Executive summary.
The executive summary, our mission statement is what it is. That, the statement that Frank just came up with is very good and should be part of our summary. Executive summary,
okay.
okay? We could even have a vague, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year idea within our vision statement, what we think the library is going to be, you know.
Or what we need to do to take us.
Right, or,
that
yeah,
point.
you know, it does, that's not,
Because the new
that's not a
library-
real,
Yeah,
it's not, that's, a vision statement is not necessarily, it's not a hard and fast goal,
It's like a projection.
it's, yeah, it's a project, you know,
It's a
I wanna be
crystal
an
ball.
opera singer, it's not, I'm going to go to Juilliard, I'm gonna go to, you know what I mean, it's,
I do know.
right, and the vision statement is more, we want to expand our services, expand our reach, include more theater, whatever it is, whatever our vision statement, how we see the library advancing and expanding, and not specifics, but a generalized.
Meeting the needs of a growing community.
Exactly,
Because
and
Goshen's not getting
I,
smaller, it's
no, it
getting
isn't going
bigger.
to get smaller either, it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to grow from within and from people moving into the neighborhood, so
But
they'll
keep
bring
me-
needs with them.
It's hard for me to think of where we as a library are going without pretty much admitting, let's face it, the county executive's gonna get his new building.
He is gonna get his new
We're
building.
gonna get a new building.
Yeah,
We gotta look at it on the basis that in the next 5 years, in the next 2 or 3 years, we're
mhm.
gonna be living in another building.
Well, I was thinking
Well,
of
in order
that
for
too,
us
and
to-
it's ahead of
For
time.
that to happen, we're gonna have to go to the public for a bond issue to renovate that building, because we saw, I think, the electrical bill for that building is $500,000. Because it's all old technology, and we're gonna have to spend literally millions of dollars to convert that into an efficient, modern library.
Did they,
Which is we're gonna require the public to say yes, and they may
Mhm.
not say yes to that. They may say, we're not gonna fund you moving into that building.
mhm.
I have a
That's,
feeling that we can do.
Go ahead. Okay. Okay, let's get back on. Okay.
That's,
I truly have a feeling we can get the county executive to make the changes that we need.
Well,
Well,
there's
that would
also,
be-
I really,
That would be great.
Yeah.
I
okay,
think that would be, we could make them.
all right. So let's,
Get the county to pay for it.
Let's, I'll give some consideration to the summary and our vision for the library in the future. We'll deal with the other portions of this at another time. Matt's going to take care of talking to the department heads so we can have a bullet list of the products and services. And then at our next board meeting, we'll discuss, we'll spend 15 minutes, half an hour discussing that and decide whether or not to have another work session on this. How's that sound for everybody?
That sounds good.
All right. So we'll call it a night at 8:35. You can shut off the computer, please. 'Cause there's something I
What does
wanna
that
say
mean?
about
Matt, it believes that we need more of those
He was